For decades, the image of a spy was a figure in the shadows, a man or woman trading secrets in a dimly lit cafe, a ghost slipping across a border in the dead of night. Espionage was a human game of trust, betrayal, and deception. But in the 21st century, the most effective spy is no longer human. It doesn't have a face, it doesn't have a name, and it doesn't have a conscience. It is a machine of carbon fiber and sophisticated electronics, and it hangs silent and unseen in the sky above its target. This is the new era of spying, an era dominated by the drone. The dawn of this new age can be traced back to the dusty battlefields of Afghanistan and Iraq. It was here that the world first witnessed the terrifying power of hunter-killer drones like the Predator and the Reaper. These were not spies in the traditional sense. They were airborne assassins. Their mission was blunt and brutal: to loiter for hours, even days, high above a target, their unblinking eye feeding a live video stream to a pilot thousands of miles away in a darkened room in Nevada. When the order came, a button was pressed, and a Hellfire missile would streak from the sky, turning a vehicle, a compound, or a person into a cloud of smoke and fire. This was a revolution in warfare. It created a sense of American omniscience and omnipotence. For the first time in history, a nation could project lethal force anywhere on the planet with almost zero risk to its own personnel. The psychological impact on the enemy was devastating. They were being hunted by a ghost they could never see, a persistent, buzzing threat that could strike at any moment. The sound of a drone overhead became the sound of impending death. But while the world was focused on these dramatic, explosive strikes, a quieter, more profound revolution was taking place in the shadows. The very same technology that made the drone a perfect assassin also made it the perfect spy. Intelligence agencies like the CIA and Mossad realized that the true power of the drone was not its ability to carry a missile, but its ability to carry a sensor. An unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, could do what no human agent ever could. It could provide persistent 24/7 surveillance over a target for an indefinite period of time. A human spy has limitations. They need to sleep, they need to eat, they can be captured, and they can be turned. A drone has none of these weaknesses. It can hover for days, its high-resolution cameras reading a license plate from 30,000 feet. Its infrared sensors can see through walls, tracking the heat signatures of people inside a building. Its signals intelligence packages can hoover up every cell phone call, every Wi-Fi signal, and every radio transmission in a city block. Can do all of this without ever putting a human life at risk. This capability fundamentally changed the game of espionage. Instead of relying on a single risky snapshot of information from a human asset, an agency could now have a continuous, high-definition movie of their target's entire life. They could watch a target leave his home, track his car through a city, see who he meets with, and listen to his conversations, all from the safety of a remote command center. The age of the trench coat and fedora was being replaced by the age of the joystick and the high-resolution monitor. This new era of drone espionage was first perfected in the hunt for high-value targets. When searching for Osama bin Laden, for example, the CIA used a fleet of stealth drones to covertly watch his compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan for months. These drones were not the noisy predators of old. They were new, experimental models designed for stealth with quiet engines and radar-absorbent materials. They flew so high and were so quiet that they were virtually undetectable from the ground. They mapped the compound, they studied the patterns of life of its inhabitants, and they identified the mysterious, tall figure who never left the walls, a man the locals called the Pacer. It was this persistent, unwavering stare from the sky that gave the CIA the confidence it needed to launch the raid. The drones didn't just find bin Laden, they provided the blueprint for his demise. This success became the model for a new form of intelligence gathering, one that was less about human sources and more about technological dominance. The spy, it seemed, was becoming an engineer. As drone technology grew more sophisticated, its application in espionage began to evolve far beyond simple surveillance. The world's intelligence agencies realized that if a drone could watch and listen, it could also interfere. This led to the development of a new class of UAVs, drones designed not just for intelligence gathering, but for active electronic warfare and covert action. A drone flying invisibly over a sensitive military site could now do more than just take pictures. It could spoof GPS signals, tricking enemy air defense systems into seeing a phantom fleet of bombers. It could jam communication networks, isolating an entire enemy battalion on the battlefield. It could even be equipped with powerful microwave weapons, capable of frying the electronics of a command and control center without ever dropping a bomb. The drone was no longer just a passive observer. It was becoming an active participant in the clandestine war, a silent saboteur that could cripple an enemy's infrastructure from the sky. This new capability blurred the lines between espionage and outright attack. One of the most famous and controversial examples of this was the alleged use of a drone in the Stuxnet cyber attack against Iran's nuclear program. Stuxnet was a brilliant piece of malware that infected the control systems of Iran's uranium enrichment centrifuges, causing them to spin out of control and destroy themselves. But the question was, how did the virus get into a secure, air-gapped facility? The official story pointed to an infected USB drive carried in by a human agent. But another, more tantalizing theory emerged within intelligence circles: that a specialized drone, equipped with a localized Wi-Fi transmitter, was flown near the facility. This Wi-Fi drone could have projected a signal powerful enough to breach the facility's defenses and wirelessly inject the Stuxnet code. While never officially confirmed, the theory highlights a terrifying new reality. Drones could now be used as airborne hackers, deploying digital weapons with physical precision. The true revolution in drone espionage, however, came with miniaturization. While the world was focused on large military-grade drones, a parallel evolution was happening on a much smaller scale. Engineers and intelligence agencies began developing microdrones, some as small as a dragonfly, others disguised as birds or insects. These were not weapons of war. They were the ultimate tools of infiltration. A drone disguised as a hummingbird could fly through an open window into a presidential palace, land on a bookshelf, and transmit a live video and audio feed of a top-secret meeting. A swarm of insect-sized drones could be released over a city, each one programmed to find and attach itself to a specific individual, turning them into a walking, talking bugged asset without their knowledge. This is not science fiction. This is the reality of modern espionage. In this new world, paranoia is a survival trait. The fly on the wall might literally be a fly on the wall. This proliferation of microdrones creates an entirely new set of challenges. How do you defend against a spy that looks like a bird? How do you secure a sensitive meeting when the room itself could be bugged by an artificial insect perched on a curtain rod? Counter-espionage agencies are now in a frantic arms race to develop detection systems capable of spotting these tiny intruders. They are experimenting with sophisticated radar systems that can track the unique wing-beat frequency of a mechanical bird, and with powerful microwave fields designed to instantly disable any unauthorized electronics in a room. But the offense is always a step ahead of the defense. For every detection system developed, a new drone is created with better stealth capabilities, a more convincing disguise, or a more resilient electronic shielding. The very concept of a secure location is becoming obsolete. If the air itself can be weaponized, then no room is safe. This new era of drone espionage is not limited to state actors like the CIA or Mossad. The technology is becoming cheaper, smaller, and more accessible every day. A sophisticated surveillance drone that cost millions of dollars a decade ago can now be purchased online for a few thousand. A hobbyist can build a drone capable of carrying a small signals intelligence package in their garage. This democratization of espionage technology means that corporations can now use drones to spy on their competitors. Criminal organizations can use them to track law enforcement officials. And terrorist groups can use them to plan attacks with a level of sophistication that was once the sole domain of nation-states. The all-seeing eye is no longer just in the hands of the government. It is in the hands of anyone with a credit card and a little technical know-how. This creates a chaotic and unpredictable new landscape, where the threat is not just from above, but from everywhere. The logical endpoint of this technological arms race is the development of fully autonomous drones. The drones of today are still largely remote-controlled, with a human pilot or operator in the loop. But the drones of tomorrow will be different. They will be powered by advanced artificial intelligence, capable of making their own decisions in the field. An autonomous espionage drone could be given a simple mission: find and identify the leader of this insurgent group. The drone would then be released, and it would spend weeks or months flying, observing, and learning, using its own AI to analyze patterns of life, identify key individuals, and ultimately pinpoint its target. It would do all of this without any human intervention. It would be a truly independent, thinking spy, a machine with a license to hunt. This raises profound ethical and legal questions. What happens if an autonomous drone makes a mistake? Who is responsible if it incorrectly identifies a target and triggers a lethal strike? The drone itself? Its programmer? The agency that deployed it? The law has not yet caught up with the technology. We are building machines with the power of life and death, without a clear framework for how to control them. This new era also forces a reevaluation of the human spy. If a drone can provide perfect 24/7 surveillance, is there still a role for the traditional case officer? The answer, ironically, is yes, but the role has changed. The human spy is no longer the primary collector of raw information. That job now belongs to the machine. The new role of the human spy is to be the interpreter, the analyst, and the master of context. A drone can show you that two people are meeting, but it can't tell you why they are meeting. It can't understand the complex web of personal relationships, political allegiances, and hidden motivations that drive human behavior. The future of espionage will be a partnership between the human and the machine. The drone will provide the data, an unblinking stream of perfect information. The human agent will provide the wisdom, the intuition to understand what that data actually means. The most successful intelligence agencies of the future will be those that can master this human-machine fusion. The battlefield of espionage is also shifting from the physical world to the digital and psychological realms. The next generation of drone warfare may not involve any physical presence at all. A nation could deploy a swarm of digital drones, highly sophisticated AI programs, to infiltrate an adversary's communication networks. These digital drones could then spread disinformation, manipulate financial markets, or even alter the perceptions of an entire population by subtly changing the information they see online. A political leader's speech could be altered in real time. The results of an election could be cast into doubt. The trust that holds a society together could be systematically eroded, not by bombs but by algorithms. In this new form of warfare, the drone is not a physical object but a piece of code, and the target is not a building but the mind of the enemy. Ultimately, the drone revolution is about more than just technology. It is about a fundamental shift in the nature of power and secrecy. For all of human history, there have been places to hide, moments of privacy. The drone threatens to eliminate that. It creates the potential for a world of total surveillance, where every action is recorded, every word is heard, and every secret is laid bare. This has profound implications not just for spies and soldiers, but for ordinary citizens. The same technology that can track a terrorist can also be used to track a political dissident, a journalist, or anyone who questions authority. The drone is a tool of immense power, and like all tools, it can be used for good or for evil. As this technology continues to proliferate, the challenge will be to harness its benefits for national security without sacrificing the fundamental right to privacy that underpins a free society. The era of the human spy is not over, but it has been irrevocably changed. The new spy game is faster, more complex, and more dangerous than ever before. It is a three-dimensional chess match played by human agents, intelligent machines, and autonomous algorithms. The shadows are now filled with the silent, unseen hum of rotors and the invisible glow of data streams. The spy in the trench coat has been replaced by the ghost in the machine, and the future of espionage will be written not in secret ink, but in lines of code, broadcast from the unblinking eye in the sky.